Hi, kids. Okay, on this day in film history for September 2nd, we'll start with Hal Ashby, born in 1929, died 1988 at the age of 59. Cancer, he had pancreatic cancer. He was caught too late. Fortunately, it spread everywhere. Took him far too soon. So Hal Ashby is part of the new Hollywood movement of the 70s. Even though he's born in 1929, fit in better with that movement. And for the earlier part of his career, he started as a film editor, teamed up with Norman Jewison quite a few times. He was nominated for Best Editing for The Russians Are Coming. The Russians Are Coming. And then the very following year, both Norman Jewison films, The Russians Are Coming, and In the Heat of the Night, he wins Best Film Editing. He is pushed or told you should direct a film, by people like Norman Jewison. So in 1970, he directs his first film, that is The Landlord, starring Beau Bridges, and then he just makes banger after banger. So we're talking Harold and Maude. That one's so great. With Bud Cort, The Last Detail with Jack Nicholson, and regarded probably by most people his best being there with Peter Sellers, Hal Ashby. 1964 is the birth of Keanu Reeves. He is 59 years old today. Happy birthday, Keanu Reeves. Born in Lebanon, but of course he is Canadian. I believe he just has Canadian citizenship, not dual. It's a really Canadian thing. Keanu is very stereotypically Canadian, right? He's regarded as being this quiet, nice guy, keeps to himself. Um, Early in his career, he worked briefly as a reporter for the CBC. He was in a National Film Board film. If you don't know what those things are, you're not Canadian. He also, his first on screen performance is in a Canadian television series, Hanging In, which was on the CBC. His first on film performance in theaters that you could go see was Youngblood, and in that he plays a hockey goalie, which, because he's Canadian, he had to play hockey. Uh, he was a goalie up until about the age of 15. That's what Keanu wanted to pursue. And then his career progresses. There's these little benchmarks, right? It's Bill and Ted, Young Stallions. Oh, he's also in Dog Star. He's a bass player. And then from there, we go to My Own Private Idaho, which is much, much more serious, right? Gus Van Sant. And then he starts to show that he can be an action star. Point Break, Speed, uh, Johnny Mnemonic adds a little bit of some sci-fi in there, and then we roll it all together and get Matrix. And of course, now there's the John Wick series, which is just kind of tailor made to the skills of Keanu Reeves. So happy birthday, Keanu Reeves. We'll move on to death now. So the year 2000 is the death of Kurt Siedemack. He was born in 1902, so he was 98 years old. Born in Germany, Jewish family. When you're Jewish and you're born in Germany around this time, he leaves for what should be obvious reasons. Like many others, immigrated to the UK, and then from there comes to Hollywood with his brother, who I've mentioned on this channel, Robert. Robert, the director of film noirs like The Phantom Lady and The Killers. So when you come from Germany, you've worked in film, and you end up in Hollywood, you usually end up in one or two places: film noir, like his brother Robert, or horror. So Kurt was a novelist, a writer. So he wrote things like The Invisible Man Returns for Universal, and he also conceived a new creature for Universal to add for their monsters, right? So most of them had been based on pre-existing characters, whether it be Frankenstein or Dracula. Kurt comes up with Wolfman. So, Wolfman, Lon Chaney Jr., Kurt Siedemack, responsible for that, also wrote things like I Walked with a Zombie, which it might not be your cup of tea, but it is a great Rocky Erickson song. And then lastly, 2005 is the death of Bob Denver, uh, mostly known for Gilligan. He is Gilligan, Gilligan Island. He was born in 1935, so he was 70 when he died. He was a teacher, I think a gym teacher, before he landed a role in TV, and the rest is television history. So there we go. Thank you for watching. See you tomorrow.